Hello. Alex Frankel did invent me, actually. And there's been this really ugly patent war for the last 42 years. I've got him where I want him. It's been a really cool night at the Cobalt. It's been sort of a classic night at the Cobalt. It's been very much like it was when I first started coming here, which was a very, very long time ago. Everybody was really knocking them out of the park tonight. Really give yourselves a hand. It was a beautiful night. One of the first readers I saw when I started going to the coffee house readings was Jerry Quigley, and he was one of the poets that was pointed out to me that said, "Watch this guy." Jerry, it is amazing to see you again. You always entertain and instruct. It's thrilling to have you back. And this was a very long time ago. This was the internet was in fact made of wood back then. We were all doing a dance called the Shiver at the time, and there was another one called Spare the Rod that was very difficult to do, and it was night for 6 months out of the year, and then the rest of the time it was dusk, and it was a very, very long time ago. Actually, there was actually parking. That's how long ago it was. Anyway, there's a story about a teacher in a classroom explaining how a double negative works to the students, and saying a double negative is actually a statement that results in a positive, as in the statement, "I don't got no money," suggests that I may have some. However, two positives don't make a negative. And a student in the back of the room says, "Yeah, right." This is all part of my introduction. In Fernando Pessoa's journal, The Book of Disquiet, the Portuguese poet writes, "Lying is simply the soul's ideal language. Just as we make use of words which are sounds articulated in an absurd way to translate into real language our thoughts and emotions which words on their own could never translate, so we make use of lies and fiction to promote understanding among ourselves, something that the truth, personal and incommunicable, could never accomplish. Art lies because it is social," he says, "and there are two great forms of art, one that speaks to our deepest soul, the other to our attentive soul. The first is poetry, the second is the novel. The first begins to lie in its very structure, the second in its very intention. One purports to give us the truth through meters and broken lines and unlimited license with the declarative sentence, thus lying against the true nature of speech. The other purports to give us the truth by a means of a reality we all know never existed. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I present for your entertainment a great big liar. I encourage you to trust everything he says. In his last book, Fearsome, he addresses the same ideas as those articulated by Pessoa in a poem called "The Poet Writes the Poem That Will Certainly Make Him Famous." I love Doug's titles. He begins the poem with, first line, blackface is sometimes the truth. The poet knows this will make fire. Kearney is setting us up with a kind of triple positive. He's making a statement, stigmatizing it, and admits it is an open provocation. And that's just the title. He does the same thing in the lines that I just read. This, coupled with the context or the subtext of the poem, an awareness of the audience, aware of itself as an audience, agreeing to be provoked. What is the truth, he asks later in the poem, again reading some magazine, again waiting in a dressing room for the door to open, fire gleaming off the platter like a breakfast of stars. This fantastic image to bring you something authentic and primal. I've taken Kearney's lines out of order, but it shouldn't matter. For purposes of preparing you for him, I am making a point about the truth and all the unreliable information that makes it the truth. Perhaps he will read this poem tonight. If not, then you should. I believe Mr. Kearney wants to say impossible things to you about the truth. Or perhaps he wants to share with you how impossible the truth is. Or maybe how remarkable it is that the truth is possible at all. He's got a new book tonight, and if you've never seen him before, the only thing I can do to prepare you for him is to tell you to set aside everything that you expect of a poetry reading. Prepare a nice blank mind. He's on to you anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, Douglas Kearney.